we're talking about youth sports here. And Phil, I know that my kids, I've got a 16 and a 14-year-old, one going to be a junior, my daughter going to be a freshman. So I've been through it all. You're kind of in that
In that
young transition
earlier
area.
stage.
You're
Yeah.
still in the youth area. Yeah. And at a certain point, it's where parents have to make decisions and kids make decisions really is you'll find out if is that kid competitive enough or good enough, love the sport enough to move on to a different level, which means out of the recreational sport where everybody plays kind of a thing and onto the loving travel and club
Club.
sport arena where it's much more competitive and financially a much different place.
Yeah, for the kids, for the athlete, they're upping their competitive level. They're going to be competing in much higher, against better competitors, and it really challenges them that way. And I think for parents, the logistics and the finances take it to the next level
It's
as well. It's a
and not
different
just
level of
finances, your
commitment.
time, the level of commitment. That's a great way to put it. Commitment is unreal. It's almost like it's semi-pro, and yet we're the ones paying. But it's that competitive. So it's one of those things. And then we travel. If for instance in soccer, there's national or leagues and regional leagues, and just depending on how good your child is, you could go to a level where you're traveling out of state on a semi-regular basis. My daughter competes and started competing at 11 years old, and she's now 14. She's seen this entire a large majority of this country in traveling to different national volleyball tournaments and competing at a very high level. But it's not for the weak of heart. It's cheap. It's not cheap.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, just even from a scheduling standpoint, you were mentioning, you got a trip coming up, so you might not be able to go do the activities, non-sport related
Rip.
activities. Right. But it affects us like you want to go up to the lake and hang out and do whatever, but you can't because you have commitments that you've made to bring your daughter to her sporting events. Whereas
Right.
my kids play rec league, if they miss a game or a practice here and there, no one bats an eyelash. Although I like to make it so that they've committed, they should show up. But we still have the freedom to say, you know what, we're going camping this weekend.
You're going to do a family
I'm gonna
thing.
miss whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think
This
it's
is
for
a
the whole
debate.
family. Right.
Club sports can and has been proven to hurt marriages. So because especially you have multiple kids and multiple sports, your parent, the mom and dad might be passing in the wind, going to the different sporting events. So it's really important that you keep the family dynamic together, um, as well as so it's finding that balance, which is really difficult to do. But in this world where if your kids are good enough, and believe me, every parent thinks their kid is good enough to go on and be the next, Ronaldo or whatever it might be. But it is to where kids get recruited now outside of football. Football is still the only sport that gets now recruited out of high school. All the other sports are recruited through clubs. So it's a necessary evil. They've done a good job of positioning themselves for this. But look, athletes are getting better and better and better. And if your child, I'm not saying they're going to fall behind, but it is something that every parent's, if their kids are into sports and they're really loving it, they're going to have to fall into it. So we're trying to make your life simple. Not sure this is helping, but it is something to start looking forward to.
Yeah. So like, subscribe, let us know in the comments what sports do your kids play? Did you grow up playing sports? Did you travel the country playing your sports?